When is the last time a book recommendation was so good that the person who listened to it immediately started reading or at least added the book to their TBR list? Books are personal preference. People love their books so much that most of the time any book recommendation will not work on them. All they want is just to get similar books to their liking. Let's take me as an example. I like literature. My favorites are mainly Russian literature, especially from Dostoevsky and Tolstoy. No matter how hard someone tries to convince me to read a self-help book or a non-fiction book, I just cannot do that. The reason is simple. For me, in any form of media consumption, I need a story. When there is a story, there are characters. The story engages you, and the characters are easy to understand. You either like them and relate to them, or you hate them and decide to never be like that. You see, that's how you learn, and I don't think that's possible in non-fiction self-help books. In non-fiction, there are points saying do this, don't do that. These points are numbered, and these numbered points are sold as books with some stories sprinkled here and there. I find no connection in books like this. That's my reasoning to love literature more than anything else. Likewise, people have their own preferences. Let's take an imaginary character. Let us name him Mr. X. Now, Mr. X is a busy man. He has no time for reading. He loves these small books, the so-called points that are numbered, sold in paperbacks. These are short. He gets to learn from these points, and he doesn't care about the characters and stories. All he needs is just to get better, and he doesn't care how he gets these lessons. If it's numbered points, so be it. He's okay. For him, I guess non-fiction self-help books would be great, and that's his preference. There is nothing wrong with that. With just two examples, you can see two polar opposites. There are a lot of genres of books, and there are a lot of people who read with a lot of different personal preferences. I don't think it's possible to read everything ever written, but there could be convergence. How do you ask? Let's say if a person who primarily reads non-fiction now, when he or she gets into social media and sees all the hype around, let's say Kafka or Dostoevsky, you all know how the Metamorphosis and the White Knights has blown up, right? I'm sure a lot of people on the internet have just read these small works and are yet to read the bigger and deeper works of Dostoevsky or Kafka. Now, when they have to do that, let's say they have a friend who has read most of Dostoevsky and most of Kafka, and they ask them for suggestions. Now, this guy, although an avid reader, does not know how to explain or summarize a book well enough to intrigue the person who is asking about what to read. There it could be a fail, because what if this person gives up entirely and gets back to their respective liking of books? So all I'm trying to say is just try to explain better about the books you have read. Something similar happened with me. I was reading Anna Karenina by Tolstoy. I had just completed just about 35% approximately. Someone at my office walked up to me and asked, "What are you reading?" I said, "Anna Karenina," expecting him to know it's Tolstoy's book. His expression said otherwise. When I said it was Tolstoy's book, he said, "Alright." Maybe he felt offended that I expected him to know that it was Tolstoy's book. That's what I got from his expression. He asked me, "What was this book about?" Me being a stupid man, I said about something like this. This book is about a woman who leaves her husband for another man, and basically it's about her feelings, dealing with the aftermath and the societal expectations. He was like, "Oh, okay," and then moved on to other topics. I had this feeling even then that I did not do justice in summarizing this book enough for him to pick up the book. It was a great book, one of my favorites of Tolstoy. After having completed the book, this time when he asked me about the book just flashed in my mind. I felt bad because I did not do justice in explaining the book. Anna Karenina is much more than that. It's about three different families, mainly two different families. It's about Anna Karenina, Anna being the central and main character. After all, Tolstoy named the book Anna Karenina, so I thought she is the main character, but Levin was more relatable to me. Maybe because we are both men, Levin was much more relatable. Fun fact, Levin was based on Tolstoy himself. I guess if I had to pick my favorite character, it would be Levin from this book, because he is real. Not that I'm saying the other characters are not real, but Levin felt real because there was a time of introspection Levin goes through at a point in his life. He thinks a lot. He thinks about things, he goes silent, and he basically picks up books trying to find meaning. That was me at some point in time. Not that I have stopped introspection. Introspection, I believe everyone should be doing. because I think distraction like the internet, I mean, now I'm not saying that the internet is not fun or informative, but the internet was fun in the early 2000s when the social media boom happened and the AI got in. It stopped being fun at some point, and the big distractor of all time, the short form videos, has been a barrier which has succeeded in stopping people from introspection with a lot of unwanted videos with AI. You know, the amount of slop that's in there, it's sad, because knowing the adverse effect the internet or the short form videos have on humans, I still cannot stop scrolling. Sometimes I just cannot close the app and get out of that hypnotic trance, but I'm aware and I do eventually get out of the app and get on with my life. So Levin, I guess, was lucky to not have all this bombarding his mind and distracting him from introspection and finding himself in the end. Anna, on the other hand, gave in to her desires and pursued what she could not resist, and there was suffering and regret and consequences after that. Still, Levin was such an interesting character. I could tell all this to my co-worker, but me being an introvert and couldn't just do it. Walking up to him and strike up a conversation about a book that he had inquired about months ago, I just cannot do that. So I had to suffer a little internally. That's all I could do, right? That's the point of this video. When you are articulating about a book, you have to be as elaborate as possible. I would always suggest talking about your feelings and not about the characters or the plot. When you are talking about how the book made you feel, you can always talk about the characters and about which character resonated with you or how the character made you feel. That would be much better approach in terms of book recommendation than talking about just your understanding of the book based on what you read. There is no point in explaining the plot, it has to be the feeling. If the person who's listening loved the way you expressed yourself while trying to just talk about a book, that would be a better way to recommend a book, in my humble opinion.